it moves on its own. Is it down? What's this one? This is my Facebook or my Instagram. Which one am I do? I think I'm gonna just do one. No, because I haven't posted on both. I feel like I got to do both.
Hey. Give us a few seconds, guys. We're going to get all set up here, then we'll get started shortly.
I'm not gonna be on video. I'll just be talking with you. You need my tablet?
No, you can take it.
I guess I'll go on Facebook.
Okay. Hey guys, give it just a few seconds. We're gonna get all everyone tuned in, and then we'll get started.
Start taking the damn password out.
Okay. Okie dokie. Okay. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Sammy J, and you are tuned in to Taboo Time with your girl, Sammy J. Tonight's topic, open relationships, open marriages, the whole shebang. We're going to get into it. We're going to dig in deep. I got some good questions to discuss. I got some feedback that I'm going to share, and I definitely want to hear you guys' feedback as well. So without further ado, you guys know I got my trusty production manager and co-host, Miss Nosy No, my wifey in the background. And, you know, of course, we're going to dig in deep. I'm back home. I'm in my comfort zone, y'all. Y'all see, I was on the move last week, but I'm back home. I'm in my space. So let's go ahead and dig in deep here. Open relationships. Honey, close that for me. Open relationships or open marriages. We're going to kind of talk about both. And let's see. Let's just start with what it means. What it means to be in an open relationship or open marriage. So, for those of you guys who don't know, an open relationship or open marriage is where both partners agree that each may have sexual relations with others. Okay? Sexual relations with others. Someone said open means see them on the side, not bring them home to share. Okay. So we're going to get into that. We're going to dig in deep into that. So just starting off right there. Again, open means that both partners agree to have sexual relations with others, as well as also the opportunity to have romantic relationships with others. As I found that out recently. I thought at one point that it was all about sexual, but it's not. I've read a few articles that have shown me otherwise. Okay, so with that in mind, let's start with this. Hold on, wifey's over here doing something with this.
What you need?
There we go.
Oh, you want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so first things first is, wifey, what are your thoughts on open relationship?
Man.
People, just based off of what I said on what it is, what are your thoughts on it? Let's go. Talk about it.
My thoughts on open relationship basically...
Speak up so they can hear you.
My thoughts on this open relationship basically means to me, you can have relationships with multiple people. Man or woman is your preference.
How do you feel about that? Is that something that you could do?
Yes.
Okay.
Why? Because it's 2020, and I feel like, why are we limiting ourselves to one person?
Okay. So this kind of leads me into my first point. Something that I looked up here, and it talks about how the society has gradually transitioned into this idea or concept of monogamy. How previously, before the agricultural and population expanded the way it has, monogamy or in this case sexual promiscuity was not as shunned upon as it is now. Now it's like monogamy is the go-to. It's what it's looked at. It's what is the customary form of relationship. However, in previous days, it was not. So with that being said, wifey, do you feel like this is good that society is now open, it has transitioned to being more, monogamy? They want you to be in monogamy, or do you feel like that's a bad thing that we've transitioned into that?
I feel like it's a bad thing. And I say this because we're setting ourselves up. I feel like sometimes we're setting ourselves up for anything, for a letdown, for anything. Because it's not just, I don't know. I feel like it's a setup. I really do.
Okay, so now one of the articles that I read was that they talked about how the idea of cheating or people cheating in relationships is so much of something that's discussed because it happens so frequently that this particular young lady whose article I read, she was saying that it just kind of like opens up for less hurt. So real quick, one of our viewers said that they liked it better when it was done in the dark. So without being open about it. And I'm going to say
like that.
And this is the thing. I'm going to say, here's the reason why. And I think I can understand where that concept would come from. Because a lot of times, they say what was done in the dark always comes to the light.
Right.
However, if you think about it, back in the day, where they get the concept and the term that Papa or Mama was a Rolling Stone, they got it from the fact that they was out here doing what they was doing and nobody ever knew what the fuck was going on until after the fact.
Right.
And a lot of times I feel like that whole concept of keeping things done in the dark, it can kind of help because it's like you don't know what's going on. I'm not, as long as I'm what I used to say, taking care of home, don't bring nothing home and don't let you find out, then there's no room for you to be hurt. With this open concept now, it's like I'm bringing things to the table, and if you're not accepting of that, it's kind of like, so now let's say, prime example, we're gonna get into this here. So one of the things with open relationships, because we're going to kind of bridge into different things that you guys are saying. I'm watching all the comments. One person said, it's better when the other doesn't know because everyone can't handle the truth. I 100% agree with that statement. A lot of people can't handle the truth.
That's true.
A lot of people ask questions about things that they really, truly don't want to know. So a lot of people can't handle the truth. That's why open relationship is not for everyone. Right. And that's why I don't know if when I was kind of posting my advertisements for today's show, one of the posts that I said was affair or open relationship. Would you prefer to have an affair behind your spouse or significant other's back, or would you just rather be in an open relationship? Right. And I kind of had a 50-50 on that response. 50% of my people and my viewers said that they would prefer to just have an affair. And the other 50% was just like, no, we just want to know up front. We want to be open and honest. So with the research that I did, first thing I want to say is just because you are open to the idea of an open relationship, that doesn't mean that you're anti-monogamy.
Right.
Okay, so let's start there. It doesn't mean that you're anti-monogamy. Just because you and your significant other decide that you want to be in an open relationship and to be romantically involved or sexually involved with someone else does not mean that you are totally against monogamy. It just may not be your cup of tea. It may just be that something that you're not into. And that's completely fine. But it does not mean that you're against it. It does not mean that you're going to shun someone if they like the idea of monogamy. It's just not for everybody. Right. So I'm going to start off by saying I am not anti-monogamy, but it is not for me. Okay. That's just how I feel. Wifey? Likewise? Okay, so boom, there it is. Y'all know what it is on our behalf. Me and Wifey are not anti-monogamy, but we are not that ain't for us. Let's start there. Okay, the next thing I looked up is that in an open relationship there should be rules. Okay, before I get into the rules, I do want to read another comment here. Miss J said partners might want open so they can cheat openly while they don't want the spouse to do the same. That is deep. That is deep.
That's facts.
That is deep because I have, in the midst of me doing my reading, I did see a lot of that. And that's going to be touching on my rules here that we're going to get into. So one of the rules for the difference in an open relationship that I wanted to point out also, so since someone said, but that's not true poly, which is not, and we're gonna dig into that because the open relationship and a poly relationship are two different things, and I feel like they are often misconstrued and a lot of time confused for one another, and they are not the same. So we're gonna start there. Open relationship, you have rules in this relationship of things that you guys are able to do, that you guys can do, and are acceptable. So one of the first rules that I saw on no matter what research page I went on is that open relationship, it consists of a primary relationship and a secondary relationship. And you have to have a balance to where you're not spending too much time with your secondary relationship. So with that put out there, wifey, how do you feel on that? Does you feel like that is a good rule to be put in place for an open relationship? That there has to be an equal, like not an equal, but your primary relationship should come first at all times. Your secondary, less you get to spend less time with them.
I think that's not fair, but
I feel like what you're thinking is that kind of bridges more into my other topic.
Yeah. Probably.
So while you're talking about just open relationships, do you think that's a good rule to have?
Yes, it is.
Okay, what do you guys think? Primary relationship and a secondary relationship, your secondary should not get as much time as your primary.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I agree. Yeah.
I agree with that. He said it's not an open relationship if there is a secondary relationship that makes it poly. Open relationships allow you to sleep with others. Yes, but open relationships also allow you to have romantic relationships with others. It's not just sexual. You can have a romantic relationship with someone and not be in love with them. So, you know, that's where kind of the open relationship part and kind of where poly, it's like a blurred line that a lot of people don't realize because they have so many similarities, but they also have a lot of differences. So moving into the second rule that I saw a lot of is honesty. Is being open and honest, and this double backs on what Miss J said about doing things in the dark, because honesty is not always for everyone. But in an open relationship, you're giving up that darkness, you're giving up the lies, you're giving up the deceit, and you're just simply saying, hey wifey, I'm gonna step out tonight, I'm gonna go chill with this dude or this chick or whoever you trying to decide to chill with, and your significant other is okay with that. How many people can say today that that's something that they would be okay with doing? Like, who can say, I would be okay with my significant other coming to me and saying, hey, we're going to be in an open relationship. I'm going to step out for the night. I'm going to go chill with this chick. I'm going to go chill with this guy. I'll be back. That's something that a lot of people, when it comes to open relationships, they aren't thinking that far ahead. And that's why these rules that people are putting in place are a huge, 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 huge thing. Now, wifey, how do you feel about that honesty type? That topic of honesty?
I think that with honesty, there's no room for mess ups. If you're honest, there leaves no room for mess ups. There's no room for, there's no room for anything. If you're honest, I'm open and honest with you about it. There's no room for anything. You can tell me how you feel. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it ain't.
Okay.
Where's the problem?
So, one of our viewers said, I can, but my significant other isn't, so therefore we can't have an open relationship. One of your viewers over here says, I appreciate honesty. Agreed. I think honesty, so I think kind of doubling on what one of the listeners, Miss J, said, and I apologize for my Instagram followers that there seems to be some type of like connection issues. So you could either jump on my Facebook where I'm not having any issues, or you could jump on my wife's Instagram. It's official Nosy No. She's broadcasting live on Instagram too. For some reason, I'm having some issue with my Instagram feed. But double backing on what Miss J said about, your significant other not being there for you can't do an open relationship. I think that's where that whole in the dark comes from.
Yeah.
And I feel like that, honestly, I feel like that's a communication issue with the relationship.
Yes.
Because I feel like if you get into a relationship with someone, you're accepting them for who they are and everything in it.
Yeah.
And I feel like if that person comes to you and says, I'm missing this aspect of my relationship with you, everything else is great, but this aspect of my relationship, I'm missing something, and you decide, no, that's not okay, then you're pushing that person to cheat. And she says, so basically, if one isn't into it, then we can't have it open, so someone's gonna cheat. And that's exactly where I feel like it falls back into.
Yeah.
You're being open with them, you're telling them, hey, I want to do this, I feel like this, you know, and if they're not understanding to that fact, then at the end of the day, I've already expressed to you how I feel. That doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to do it in the dark. We're just not going to be open about it. So with that in mind, it's like, do we really want to put ourselves in a particular situation when we could just be open and honest? And now I also feel like that should be something that if that changes within a relationship later, should be brought up. Because some things in the beginning are fine. And then you realize that it's not really fine. And you come to your significant other and you should be able to talk about that. Yeah. So I think that's where the done in the dark becomes the issue, because people lack the proper communication and if you're really
afraid,
you're afraid. And you're afraid of what? Let's get into it. Jealousy or falling in love with someone else. So what I saw and what I was reading is that jealousy is a natural thing to have. You're going to have some sort of jealousy with the people that you're in your relationships with. It's just natural. It's no different than when you see your significant other looking at a female or a male and they looking at them in a certain type of way. You're gonna feel it. It's a natural jealousy. The level of jealousy, however, that you possess depends on you. So Miss J says everyone says they're into open. Later on, they realize they're not because they don't want to share. I think that is also a very true issue that comes up. But I feel like
when you say you open in the beginning, because you haven't really fell in love with that person. Once you really fall in love with that person, like you said, you don't want to share. You don't want to share.
But now let's take this back. Is it that you're not really wanting to share, or does it fall back into what we just discussed here? Jealousy, you're afraid of the jealousy or that person falling in love with someone else. Because if you were open with the idea of sharing them to begin with, the sharing didn't change. What changed was you, right? And what changed in you? Your fear of them falling in love, or your jealousy over the person that they're wanting to be with.
Because you want to compare.
You're going to constantly feel like you're going to feel like they're comparing.
Yeah.
And that's where the open relationship comes into play, where they said having a primary relationship and a secondary relationship, and you not giving that secondary relationship too much time. Because you don't want your primary relationship to start feeling those things. So that's where that comes into play. So the next thing that came up, and this one I feel very, very strongly about, and it's the consent. Consent not from your significant other, but consent from the person that you're including in your open relationship. Now, full disclosure, one of the things that my wife and I, when we first ventured into the open relationship avenue, one of the things that we discussed was being open with the people that we're dealing with so that they know what's going on with our relationship. So someone said, real quick before I finish that, someone said, I think it's an emotional aspect, forgetting about the primary person. I agree with that.
Absolutely.
And then she said, that's why another person said, that's why most men want in, but flip out if their girl does it. That is 100%. And men, I'm going to need y'all to chime in on this, because otherwise I'm going to tell you that's the absolute facts. I have not actually seen any so far where the men don't get those feelings and where they're completely okay with their female going out and doing something. So if it's otherwise, I know it's out there, because I saw a lot of articles about it, but I don't see it. So they said, where if women want it, they aren't bothered by the other significant other. We're not.
Absolutely.
We're not. And I think that comes down to, at the end of the day, security in yourself. Because, and someone just said, one of the guys said, that's insecure men. And I 100% agree with that. Because that's, like I said, it's security within yourself. One of the things, when I was out of town recently for my last show, ran into some couple clients, And my wife was at home, and they asked me, oh my gosh, you know, Sam, with you guys being in an open relationship, you're not afraid of what she might be doing while you're not there? And I'm like, no. I mean, if she wants to do something, she's more than welcome to do so, but I don't have that fear. At the end of the day, I'm secure in my marriage. I know where I stand in her life. So therefore, someone else or what she's doing with someone else is no concern to me. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't make me shake. It doesn't do anything like that. I'm secure with that. And I feel like it takes people a long time to get there, but it can happen. You have to want it. And that's where, like I said, with the consent comes into play. So you're getting involved with someone. You believe it's the right thing to do, to put out there full disclosure. Hey, I'm in a relationship. I'm in an open relationship. I have a girl or a man. I have someone at home who I'm with. You feel that way, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, do you also tell them, hey, so we're not going to get any serious, real serious about it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So this guy said, our time together is our time together. Our time apart is our time apart. I 100% clap it up, because yes, I agree with that statement. Someone over here said, if you got fear like that, you can never leave the person out your sight. It's better to expect the worst, really, than you could deal with what comes. I agree to a certain extent. If you feel like you can't leave that person, then yeah, it's better to be alone. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with the point of feeling, expecting the worst. Because I feel like you should be secure in yourself that you don't expect the worst. Yeah. And that was one of the things that they were saying to me. They were like, I mean, you don't know. People could do anything. And I'm like, yeah, no, I just feel that confident. But I definitely think that consent is a huge thing. You want someone to be completely open and honest with you about what they're getting themselves into, and you want them to make an informed decision, because some people are out here really looking for love. Mm-hmm. And you don't want them to fall in love with you when you know you have no intention on falling in love with them. Mm-hmm. Okay? The next rule that I saw came up with, they said we should exclude friends or people that we know. How do you feel about that? So, Miss J says, is open means only 2 relationships, so I can't see more than one? Oh no, you can see as many relationships as you guys set the rules to. That's what I saw. There's rules. There's rules. Yeah. So you can have as many relationships as what you set the rules to. Yeah. So now, how do you guys feel about that? They said one of the rules should be excluding friends or people you may know. Wifey, I'm going to ask you, what do you think about that?
Ooh. That's real tough.
I feel like that's super tough.
That's super tough.
I feel like it's super tough. Hey guys, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to keep the show going. Alistair, Kayla, Octavia, I saw you too.
That's super tough.
I feel like so Miss Anshana said no friends.
No friends.
No friends.
As in okay, no friends.
And Miss J says, hell yeah, no doing others from the past. Miss Anshana said, too close to comfort.
Okay.
Someone said, I'm not saying that from an insecure, more being secure with the worst possibility. That's what you're feared. And he said, you better not hit the crew, okay? He said, you can't get with your ex-homeboy, your best friend. Someone said, no exes. Someone said, no friends, no past, no exes. Okay. She said, yeah, you gotta have that understanding, friends or non. Okay. So now, here's my standpoint on that. And y'all probably gonna flip out when I say it, but it is what it is. And it's taboo, so I know y'all know I'm gonna say what I feel. I personally don't see an issue with the friends or people that you may know. And the reason why I say that is because y'all know me. Y'all know my relationship, so you respect that, right? And you just respect the lifestyle that I'm in. That means you're not expecting shit from me. But whatever I'm bringing to the table with you. Am I wrong for thinking that way, Fee?
I can't answer this question.
Why?
I can't. I just can't.
No, you got to answer the question now. Come on, be real. Someone said, what if you live in a small town? Right, that's what I'm saying. If you live in a small town, whether you don't live in a small town, I'm just saying ain't nothing wrong with smashing somebody who you smashed in the past. Somebody said, fuck no. I personally did. So Miss J said, because then I'm thinking, then I'm gonna think you've been trying to do that person. I can see that. Somebody over here said opinions of others don't need to always jump in a relationship. She said that moment is the moment, period. I'm listen, y'all can already see what I said. Wifey ain't trying to answer. I don't know why. I don't know what her thoughts is. She said, nah, boo, because you expected your spouse not to think it's been going on. I don't think that we're not expecting them to know what is going on. I just feel like I get what somebody said about nah, because I'm gonna think you've been wanting to do it. I get that.
I mean, yeah, I get that part.
That
too.
part I
that
get.
That part, yes, I do.
But I feel like
I agree with that.
Look, Allison said, "What the hell? If it's open, it's open." And then Anshana said, "They always gonna get the side eye." Like, full disclosure, wifey, that's you all fucking day. If I tell you I fucked with somebody for the past, when you see that person, you gonna be like, cause you still do that to a certain somebody. You know, we ain't gonna name the names, and it ain't even a dude. It's a fucking chick. And to this fucking day, anytime I bring up her name or say anything, I'm always getting a fucking side eye. Or you always got some slick ass comment to say. So I already know how you feel about it. Moving on to the next one. People said that there should be a limit. Wait, so real quick before I move on. Someone said, you had it before me, then let it stay that way. After we get together, then we can see new people. Then Octavia said, no exes, but you could do a bestie. I like that. I like that answer, Octavia. I like that answer. Alistair was like, sister wives, brother husbands. Okay, so the next topic that they brought up was 2 different lovers, like having multiple lovers in 1 week. So with this rule, they're basically saying you can't sleep with more than one person in a week. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't agree with that fucking rule. Because the whole point of being open is if my fucking significant other ain't trying to do the shit right now, I could go do it right there. Or basically you saying, so if I fuck my significant other right now, then I can't fuck my side piece or my other relationship that I have that same week. I got to wait till next week. I feel like that leaves room for problems. Like, you're good. So now you're feeling like, oh, well, you just had sex with that person last week. Now it's my week. You know, like, I don't know. I just feel like that's putting too much emphasis on it.
I don't know. That's weird to me.
I think that's weird. That's putting too much emphasis on that shit for me. I ain't with that. Somebody said open means open. This is on yours. I feel like, yeah. I feel like there shouldn't be that stipulation. Miss J said, I'm too horny for that rule. Hey, I feel you, because I'm over here thinking the same goddamn thing. Like, what? Once a week or the same person that week. So you can have sex with wifey, if it's me and you.
So basically
we can have sex that week, but it's only us that can have sex that week. We can't have sex with none of our little side pieces. If we want to have sex with our side pieces, we gotta wait till next week. He said, hell, as long as y'all disease and infection free, intercourse it up, LOL. That's comes in to my last rule that a lot of people came up with was always using protection. And I 100% agree with that. Yeah. Everybody should always use protection. It is too much shit going on out here in this world for y'all to not be strapping it up. I don't care if you trust that motherfucker with your life. Put a fucking condom on. Okay? Just put a fucking condom on. It's not even that deep. One of the questions that I saw that kept popping up. So someone said, definitely a problem if I can't have my cake and eat it too. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be an issue. So one of the things that I saw that kept popping up, and I feel like this is something I definitely wanted to chime in on because you and I are married, wifey, is that a lot of people are saying, if you're into open relationships, then why get married? A lot of people ask that question. So, answer it? My answer is, in my opinion on why you get married is, I feel like getting married to someone is more than just about that sexual or romantic relationship. I feel like when you decide to marry someone, a lot of times there's other reasons behind it. Either health care reasons, legal issues, like, maybe there's kids involved. I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a lot of things, but I feel like because I want to be in an open relationship is not to say I shouldn't get married. Especially if I found someone who I know loves me, accepts me for who I am, and we're doing, great. I feel like there's no reason why. And see, he said it. He said, marriage to me is a business agreement. I agree with that to a sense. To a sense, when you think about it, it is though, right? It's a business arrangement. It's basically saying like, I love you this much that we could get this together. We could do this together. We make it, we building a life. So that's how I feel about it. That's why I feel like you could still get married even if you guys consider to be open. So she said, Miss J said, I'm married for companionship and to grow old with that person. Mm-hmm. She said, I might not even like their sex, but or I might not even love them. That's what she said. She said it's a written contract. I agree. So someone said, what about plural marriage then? So that kind of moves into where I was saying earlier that open relationships and poly relationships are a blurred line that a lot of people confuse and a lot of people have mixed feelings about. So what I feel like the closest blurred line is the polyamory. And polyamory is the ability to love and be in a loving relationship with more than one person. And I feel like that sometimes is a lot of confusion with open relationships because people, like you said, people were saying in the beginning when we first started, oh, open relationships is just about sex. It's not just about sex. But when people hear, oh, you got a whole separate relationship, now they start thinking you're automatically poly. So now, wifey, let me ask you, would you be open to the idea of a poly relationship? Being like willing to love someone else. And the other thing that you have to remember is open relationship again is primary, secondary. Poly is
same.
We're equal. So is that something that you're open to? I done struck a nerve. Are you open to it? Can you put someone at an equal standpoint?
Yeah, I can.
How about you guys? Do you feel like you would prefer an open relationship where you guys can do whatever you want? Or would you prefer a poly relationship where you guys equally love each other? So this guy said, I must be poly then. I agree. A lot of people don't realize that they are really and truly in a some sort of poly relationship.
Yeah, because once you start to feel and start to love,
once you allowed, if feelings are allowed, that's poly. That's not open. Yeah. There's a lot of people whose lifestyle is considered a poly relationship. They just may not actively have someone at the time. Mm-hmm. And just because you are in a poly relationship doesn't mean that you are all sharing. A poly relationship could mean that you are with someone and your significant other also has someone at the same time. It doesn't mean that you guys are sharing. And I think that's another aspect of where people get confused. Just because, you're with someone and your wife or your significant other wants to be with someone don't mean you have to be with them. And I think that is a good thing to think about in terms of women. We be so concerned about our man cheating on us, right? Oh no, fuck that shit. He cheated on me. That shit is done. I think one of the posts that you posted in advertising for this episode was basically saying, if my dude asked me for an open relationship, we done. Mm-hmm. Why? Why is that such a stigma? Is it because then that kind of goes back to what I'm saying about your jealousy or your insecurity within your relationship? Because that shouldn't matter. She said, Miss J said, I just want to do me and my others. I just want to do me and my others. Let's me. And I don't complain. So basically, she just want to do what she want to do and not have nobody complaining. This guy said, I love all my girls at the same time. I could see where that wouldn't be an issue. I think for me, I think I could do poly because of the type of person that I am. Don't get me wrong. I can separate emotions sexually. I don't like to though. Like, I'm an emotional person. I'm a Cancer. I'm an emotional person. So we're really, big lovers. We love to love. And we have so much love to give, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, I think I would prefer the idea of a poly relationship than I would an open relationship. Not to say that I can't be open. I mean, we've been in an open relationship for some time now. It's been working. Mm-hmm. I think it works for us. May not work for everybody, but it definitely works for us. Mm-hmm. But
we just prefer.
I think with me, I'm a lover. My wife is a lover. So I think for us, it's like we would prefer to have that one. And for us, it's guys. Obviously, we don't need another woman. We have each other. But I think for us, we would prefer to have that one guy that we can be in a relationship with, that we can love, that we can grow, we can build with. So that's why I think for us, poly is probably more our speed. We've been doing open and it's been fun. But I think as we're getting older and kind of wanting to settle, that's where we're kind of leaning towards that now.
So possibly.
Huh?
I was reading a post. Someone said so it's possible to really be in love.
With two people, yeah. Yes. You can love way more than two people, honestly. Someone said, I would prefer poly because teamwork makes the dream work. I 100% agree with that. I think if you think about it, so someone said, ever think it's working because your spouse knows how much you want it? Yes, Appa, this is live now. So even though she doesn't. So basically, you're saying, do you think that the open relationship is working because that you might not want it, but because I want it, and that's why it's working? But then I feel like no, because if you didn't,
eventually it wouldn't
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it would be that, because I feel like at some point,
in the beginning, it'd be cool, but at some point, that person is gonna
they're gonna be like, I can't do this shit, and then it's gonna make the other person go back dark.
Definitely.
So, Alistair said, I agree, it does make a team effort, and I do think that in terms of the poly aspect, that's why a lot of people do that. It's because it's just the idea of building together. Mm-hmm. Appa said the happiest I've ever been was when I had both. And that's what I 100% agree with that. So then Miss J said she could be making it work because she loves you. I agree with that to a certain extent. Yeah. But if you don't want it, you don't want it. Right? I don't know. I just feel like I feel like if it was me and I didn't want something, like, prime example with us. We're attracted to basically, like, not the same type of guys. So when we in our open relationship, sometimes we be like, nah, that shit ain't gonna work. You can have that. I'll take this. Yeah. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I don't know that statement of you making it work because you love, or that because that person loves you. I don't think that's 100% real, because
like if you didn't agree on the same person, you're just in an open relationship.
Exactly, you just in an open relationship.
Yeah.
So, someone said, so AD said that's a good spin question. Then someone said, if all sides agree, no harm, no foul.
Right.
And I think that's the most important part is making sure that you guys are all on the same page. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about was sexual boundaries, because I think you and I had discussed this previously. One time it came up, are there boundaries of things that you're not willing to do or that you guys aren't allowed to do with the other person? So I'll dig in deeper with that. So real quick, someone said relationships have existed and worked well for thousands off the idea that you love me but you do you, boo. Right. That's 100% right. So now, When they say sexual boundaries, they mean like, are you allowed to do oral when you're having sex with the person? Is oral allowed? You know,
preference.
Is kissing allowed?
Oh.
Are you allowed to venture into your BDSM style?
See, I think sometimes that's where the two relationships come into play. That's where you sometimes for some people, like, some people may be into BDSM and some people are not. So your person that you're with right now, your primary person is not into that, but your secondary person is. That's the whole point of you being in an open relationship. You don't know. I mean, if that's your preference, that's what you get into. That's your point of being in an open relationship. And some people.
So you feel like that part of the boundary is not. It wouldn't be an issue. Now, one of our viewers said, "Oh, Miss J," she said, "I think no oral with the others, only your spouse." Someone said, "No sexy clothes for that person, only me." So no lingerie with your side pieces. I don't even think that's fair to call them side pieces.
Whatever you into, that's what you into. That's what you into. I feel.
But I mean, no, I'm saying, like, do you feel like that's something that should be discussed prior to you and your significant other getting involved into that open relationship? Do you feel like you guys should discuss sexual boundaries?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just talk about it. I mean, even if y'all have just equal, say we don't have no boundaries. Even if that's the case, just say we don't have no boundaries. As long as you know,
as long as it's out there, you guys talked about
absolutely.
it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now let me ask this: do you want to discuss, or do you want the ability to discuss the things that go on in your other relationships?
Now that
with your significant others.
Okay, I'm gonna feel okay. This is my standpoint on it, and this is me.
He said, "How would you know what they did or didn't do?" But then that's where it comes back to our original rule of honesty.
Yeah, honesty. If you open your communication, communicate. What is it lie about? We open about everything.
I mean, like, that's like me saying. Someone said you can't do the secondary as well. Oh, she said you can't do the secondary as well or better than the main lover. That's a tricky topic, because I feel like if you just doing you, it's gonna be you. Like, how do you hold back? Someone said, "But damn, yo, I like to eat pussy and I have an issue that I can't eat like I want, because strange D been in that plate." Someone said, "Don't ask, don't tell." So when I said about, do you want to talk about it with others, like, would you want to talk about it with others?
Would you want to talk? No, I prefer.
You prefer not to know about the experience.
Yeah, I prefer not to know. That's just me, because that's just how I am. That's who I am.
Hey, you already know for me, babe. I'm over here like, I want to know. Tell me what happened.
You're the person that want to know. Me, I'm like, I prefer not to know.
I know, and that's where it be like tricky sometimes. Yeah. Like with me and you, like, I'll be like, okay, babe, so tell me. And I'll be
like, what? Like, no.
Yeah, I'll be like, so tell me what's up. How did that? Was that good? What happened? Like, where with you on the other hand, I'll be like, oh my God, I don't want to talk about it so bad. And you're like, no, I don't want to hear about that shit. But I don't know. I think for me, I would be totally okay with talking to you about it, even if you wanted to know.
Now now as I've grown, yeah. But before, when I was very mature, we didn't. But now we talk about everything now, like so.
Now they also said they spoke about saying that you should have regular check-ins with your significant other to discuss how things are going with the open relationship, like maybe. Like check-ins with your wife, or your spouse, or your significant other, basically saying like, you should check in with them. So how's everything? Do you feel like this is working for us? Do you feel like we need to make any adjustments to the rules? That type of thing. I think that's a good thing to include into your discussions. So someone said, I think more people are open to poly relationships than they like to admit. I think the social stigma is what holds people back. Yes, I 100% agree, because I totally think way more people are open to the idea of that shit. They just so concerned about people judging them. Even when when I first decided that I was going to start a podcast, and I first decided that it was going to be taboo time, because anybody that knows me know I fucking say what the fuck I feel. I don't care what people think. I'm going to speak on it. When I first decided this, my wife was scared as fuck. Because she was like, oh shit, everybody's gonna know every fucking thing. And I'm just like, I mean, I don't give a fuck about what people think about me. So if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. So yes, I 100% think that there's so many people that are okay with the shit and they just act like they're not. So my statement to those people is, grow the fuck up. Like, it's not that deep. It ain't, stop, feeling like you can't be who you are because of what people think. Fuck them. At the end of the day, they ain't sleeping with you. They ain't, what my mom used to say, are you feeding me, fucking me, or financing me? If you ain't doing none of those things, then I don't give a fuck about what you think. And so that's my statement to you guys. If you really are interested in an open relationship or a poly relationship and you're not doing it or not pursuing it because you're afraid of what the fuck people think, fuck them. Okay? Someone said I'm nosy as fuck. Shit might be hot and then we get to talking about it and now I want to fuck. That's how I feel. Hey, he said 2 tears in a bucket, motherfuck it. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Fuck it. I don't care about what you think. So, no. I definitely think, right. See, the 3 F's. Feeding me, fucking me, and financing me. So, I just feel like people just need to be more open to what the fuck they want. Stop being so worried about people being judgmental. Stop giving a fuck about what this world thinks. Ever think that if we stop giving a fuck about what the world thinks, then people would stop being so fucking judgmental about it? Do we ever consider that idea? Do we ever consider that if maybe we stop shunning people because of the way they choose to live their life, that maybe more people would be open about living it? So I just feel like that's something that everybody needs to think about. That's going to be, you know what, my thought for today that I want. You know how, what was it, Jerry Springer used to do the thought at the end of his show when he'd be like, here's my thought for today. Like, that's how I feel. This guy says it's mainly a younger crowd that's down for it. Age makes a difference. I 100% agree with you. Age makes a difference. However, I will say I feel like the younger crowd is okay with being open about it. Because these older people doing it. And they've been doing it. They just feel like how Miss J said, where she feel like things should be done in the dark. The younger crowd and the younger generation, we just like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. She said, if you're going to do it right so no one can judge you. And that's what I'm saying. If you're going to live a life, if you're going to do something that you feel as though is taboo, just fucking beat the fucking odds and just do it. Don't wait for somebody to have a thought about what you're doing. Just put it out there. She said, and then someone else said, if you do it the way, it shuts down on the lies and the cheating. And that's what I'm saying. If you're just open about it, guys, be open about what what she said, we just didn't discuss or see it as wrong. Right. And that's what I'm saying. The older generations, they've been doing it. They just don't see it as wrong and they don't discuss it. I think younger generation, we just don't like hiding shit. And I think that comes back to the age of social media. You know, you want to be able to post and be like, this is me and my wife and my boyfriend. You know, like, you want to be able to post and be like, these is my 2 girls, without people looking at you like D-Ray openly, the comedian, he openly has 2 girlfriends. But when this motherfucker started posting about it, he got a whole bunch of backlash about that shit in the beginning. He just didn't give a fuck. But they happy as shit, living their life with him and his 2 girlfriends.
Then Will Smith and Jada had an open relationship.
Will Smith and Jada had open relationship. Yep. They just got rules.
Yep.
It's just like everybody is. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it cuts back on the people out here cheating. It cuts back on motherfuckers bringing shit the fuck home. And yeah, he said the same thing. He said older people been doing it for years. Have a whole other child living next door, won't say shit. That is so fucking true. That is so fucking true. You be living next door to your goddamn sister your whole life, ain't even know it. No, I think that it really comes back down to, I think for me, I think it comes down to social media. People like wanting to be able to be vocal about what they got going on. This guy said, y'all need to start a dating site. We need to start linking people up, like a new Match.com type shit. No, I just believe in people just being honest and real. Hey, speaking of dating sites, did you know that there are only certain sites that allow married people to date other people? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
So like back when you and I first started our open relationship, obviously it's kind of hard going out and meeting people and then having like you out at the bar and you gotta stop and explain to them and be like, oh yeah, this is my wife, we're open, da da da. Like that just kind of kills the mood sometimes. So I had went and looked on POF. Now me, you know, like I said, I'm open about my shit. So when they ask you like your marital status, I put married, but it was like, I'm sorry, we don't condone da 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 da. Please use one of our something. Like another website. I think it sent me to like Ashley Madison or some shit like that. And I was like, I remember Ashley Madison from when I was younger. And I remember like hearing like some older people talk about it. But to me, I thought that was for people who were trying to have affairs.
Okay.
But apparently, that's the site you need to go to if you're trying to be in an open relationship too. Not Plenty of Fish. And if you are, you can't put that you're married. Because if you put that you're married, they're going to shut your shit down right there. Yeah, they're going to shut your shit down. So someone said they're enjoying the show. Thank you, Ivory, for watching. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. Appa says, and being happy because you can't live your life the way you want to. Be transparent when you can. That comes back to the same thing as me saying, babe, like, I feel like I'm really glad that we got to the point in our lives where we just stopped giving a fuck about what people think. Because I feel like it allows you to just live so much happier when you just don't fucking care. When you can openly say to someone, yes, this is my wife, and yes, we be fucking people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, or yes, this is my wife, and we have a boyfriend. Like, I like that we can openly say that. I know Miss J said everyone can't handle the truth, and that's so true. But I feel like if you can't handle it, then stay the fuck out the kitchen. You know, don't worry about what the fuck is going on with me. If you don't like something that I do or say, then bye. You know, we don't need to discuss it.
Real talk.
So, wrapping up today's show, guys, I got a lot of good feedback from you. Thank you so much for tuning in and giving me that feedback. I'm so happy that this topic really resonated with you guys, because it resonated with me, you know, for a personal level, but also because I like to see what people think, and I really like the feedback that you guys gave. I don't have my book with me, but I think my topic for next week is interracial dating. So, we're going to get into that next week. So make sure you guys tune in to Taboo Time next Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to discuss that interracial dating. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in with Taboo Time with your girl, Sammy J. It's been great. I love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye, guys.